Before you or your parents spend a single dollar on college football camps this summer, do yourself a favor and watch this video. Parents and prospective college athletes, most of you are wasting your money and you don't even realize it. And what I'm about to tell you, most college football coaches and personnel aren't going to say this out loud. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Austin Schaefer. I've spent over a decade in college football recruiting with 2 Division I programs, and now I'm here to help you trend up in your recruiting journey. In this video, we're going to talk why camps actually matter, how they're structured, how to stand out, the truth about mega camps, and a mistake most guys make before camps even start. So if you're serious about playing college football, you really need to understand how this camp process works, which we'll get into now. So why do camps matter so much? Well, it can be one of the only times a college coach can see you live. Not your huddle, not your highlights, you in person. They can observe your body type and features, how you move in person, how you change direction, how you take coaching, how you compete. Your film can have you squarely in the mix with that school, but your camp performance and how you look in person can move you up the board or take you off completely, especially if you lie on your huddle about your size, or the film is a little grainy, or the angles are terrible and it's hard to really form a complete evaluation. But these college coaches, once they get you on campus for their camp, they're going to get their hands on you and put you through the same drills that they put their players through to see how you handle that and respond to that coaching and see if you can do what that coach wants you to do to be successful in his system. Now, as far as the camps are structured, I would say they all follow a pretty universal order as far as the events go. You're going to get on campus, you're going to check in, you'll probably mingle with the coaching staff as you get height and weighted, may do some sort of brief facilities tour, may even get into broad jump, vertical jump before the camp gets going. But once all the campers have arrived, everybody will get down on the field. Strength and conditioning staff's going to put them through a brief warm-up, get everybody fired up and ready to go. Then you'll begin 40 and shuttle testing, maybe some other drills maybe thrown in there as well. And when it comes to these drills, you're going to be participating at camps, 40, shuttle, vertical, broad jump. You need to be practicing these drills ahead of time. Do not let a college camp be the first time that you run the 40 or run the shuttle or do any of these drills, because it's probably not going to go well for you. You need to have the stance and start for these drills practice so you can fire out with explosion and really pass that part of the test, because you could easily fall off with poor testing and you could become an afterthought before the camp even really gets underway. And then after the testing's completed, you may have some guys joining some other groups based on running a fast time in that 40 or running an explosive time in that shuttle. But once the testing's complete, then we'll get into position work. Usually you'll start out with individual drills, going through those same drills like I mentioned that coach puts his team through. And then after the individual period, you may get into some more group work. For example, quarterbacks, receivers, tight ends may get together for routes on air. After all the group work stuff is done, then everybody's going to come together for one-on-ones. Offensive and defensive linemen will be together doing one-on-ones. Same thing with quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs. Coaches are usually going to try to put the best on best and try to get the best matchups possible to really observe and see how guys compete in this setting. One question I often get is, how do I stand out at a college camp? I don't think you need to be super flashy. I would encourage you to wear your school's gear. I think that can definitely help in making the connection if they know a guy from Jones High School is going to be there and they don't necessarily know what you look like. They can see the Jones High School gear and make that connection and know, okay, there's so-and-so from Jones. He's here. He's with that group. I do think wearing a pair of gloves or cleats that you can tell a coach ahead of the camp, hey, coach, I'm going to be wearing neon green cleats or gloves. They'll know what to look for and they can keep you in mind because they know you said that previously. But what really matters at the camp is your body language, how you take coaching, how you stand in line, how you bounce back after a poor rep. And do you act like you're a guy that belongs in that program? It's all stuff coaches are looking at. They're looking at everything. It's a constant ongoing job interview when you set foot on campus for these camps. And you want a college coach to come away saying, man, that guy belongs in our program. Another topic I'm asked often about, mega camps, and what are my thoughts on them. 80 to 100 schools sounds convenient and great in theory, but there's just so much going on. There's so many bullets flying all at once, and there's not enough coaches to evaluate you and get eyes on you. Now think about this. If you see a school advertised on a mega camp flyer and that school only has one coach there to represent them, which is often the case, and that coach is the defensive line coach and you're a quarterback, it's probably not going to serve you very well to be evaluated by that school, because that coach is going to be working with the defensive linemen. He's not going to see any of the one-on-ones probably with the quarterbacks. He's not going to see you throwing, and it's not going to help you at all. I've seen guys go to mega camps and not get a single rep when it comes to the one-on-ones. I'm not saying everybody that goes to a mega camp is not going to get seen and not gain exposure, but it's more often than not, you're going to go and it's going to be a bad experience. Target individual schools camps on campus where you've had some sort of dialogue with, and you know all those coaches are going to be on campus, and then you can be evaluated by those coaches. And lastly, please do not be late to these camps. If at all possible, be early, especially if you're in the Midwest. It's orange traffic cone season. You got a budget for traffic, construction, delays, time zones even. When I was at Purdue, we were right on the border of Central and Eastern time zones. We would often have to let guys know, hey, if you're coming from Illinois or anywhere west of Purdue, please allot for that extra hour so you're not late, which often happened. Get there early. Try to drum up some conversation with your position and area coach or any of the other coaches on staff. If a coach has a memorable interaction with you and says, wow, that kid carried himself well, that could be all it takes for them to have eyes on you throughout that camp, and you never know what that could turn into. And remember, first impressions matter. Come in with a strong handshake, take your headphones out of your ears or off your head, and handle the conversation. Don't let mom or dad drive the conversation with that coach. When it comes to nutrition and its place in the camp schedule, you got to be making sure you're fueling your body properly. You got to hydrate equally as much, and you can't overload your camp schedule with 3 camps in 3 days. The best ability in the summer and fall is availability, and you're not going to be available if you overload your camp schedule and you have some sort of soft tissue injury or some other injury due to overuse throughout the summer. I get that camps are important. I get that you got to be seen, but you got to pick 5 to 7 camps where you've had some level of discussion. Maybe you've gotten a personal invitation. Maybe there are different levels of camps. You pick the ones based on being evaluated and knowing where you fit amongst college football's levels. I would focus on 5 to 7 camps that are spread out over June and July and that are going to allow you to be fresh, productive, explosive, and just allow you to go and put out your best performance so that you can hopefully sway that school into getting you an offer. Now, one of the most important parts of the camp process, and this is something that most athletes often get wrong, is the pre- and post-camp communication process. You should be showing up to camps where they already know who you are. They should have already seen your film and evaluated you, and the camp is really just for confirming what they see on film, confirming size, some things that we've talked about before regarding the evaluation process. I have seen players come through sight unseen. We didn't know anything about them. They rip off a really good 40 time or do something crazy in camp that really grabs our attention. They land on our board, and some of them even eventually land offers. But those are the exceptions, and you have to be truly special and exhibit some amazing qualities to go from unheard of to fully in the mix with that school. Your process becomes so much more efficient when they already know who you are, they're expecting you, they know what day you're going to be at the camp, and all they have to do is confirm size or see you change direction in person to make sure that you can do it, and that's how you really get camps to work in your favor. Now let's talk about how you build that pre-camp communication. When you get these camp invitations, some of them are going to be mass invitations that are sent to thousands and thousands of kids. You need to reply to these invitations, see who replies back. If they don't reply back or they give you some sort of copy and paste company line, they probably haven't evaluated you and they're probably just trying to get you there to boost their overall camp numbers. I would be saying, hey coach, I appreciate the invite. Have you seen my film? What do you like about it? If they reply with something specific from your film and something that you know you do well on film and you know that's a strong point of your game, okay, they probably watched the film and you know they are being truthful. They have watched it and they really do want to get you to camp to confirm some things and possibly get you further in the process down their evaluation pipeline. Those are the camps you want to prioritize, the schools that have a real genuine interest in you. And in this pre-camp communication, if it gets far enough, I would try to get their cell phone number and move things over to text if you're talking to them via DM or email. Cell phone numbers are the golden ticket when it comes to contact and recruiting. And I would even venture to say, I don't think you're really being recruited if you're only having DM or email conversations. You really have to get things over to text, texting with them, getting to hopefully a point where you're talking on the phone routinely. And if you don't have the cell phone number or you can't get it ahead of the camp, after the camp's over, if that coach provides you with a cell phone number, then you know, okay, you're starting to move along in the process because the coaches don't just give their cell phone number to anybody. Once you get that, I would definitely follow up with a text, lock that coach in, and shoot him a thank you text following up from the camp saying, hey, coach, I appreciate the opportunity to work with you. Look forward to staying in touch. Also, one more note on the pre-camp communication. Make sure you shoot a message to that coach via text or DM or email if you have to, but let that coach know if you've had any dialogue with them, what day you're going to be at camp, what session, and what you're going to be wearing so that they can keep an eye out for you and hopefully have some dialogue with you pre or post camp. I'm not getting in the car, traveling hundreds of miles to a camp that I've not had any pretext communication with. I don't know if the coach has seen my film or let alone if they know I even exist. The only possible way I would even consider doing a camp where I've not had any conversation with that coaching staff is if I've been evaluated, I know exactly where I fit, and maybe you're from a rural school, maybe you're from an area that doesn't really produce prospects and nobody's seen you or know much about you until the camp circuit. But that's the only way that I would go unless I know for sure I've got the size, I got the tape to back it up, and I could possibly be a guy for that level of school that I'm thinking about going to this camp to. But you cannot go in blind. You're going to be wasting time, you're going to be wasting money, and you're going to be wasting opportunities that you can't get back. Be intentional, be strategic, and go where you got a little bit of traction going, and you'll be just fine. And here's something that most people don't know unless you spend a lot of time in college football like myself. The evaluation process starts long before the camp begins. Once guys are pre-registering, someone like myself would be looking through that list of pre-registered guys, looking at height, weight, film, offers, track times, other verified combine times. Do they have a multi-sport background? Is this school known for producing prospects in the past? If there wasn't much available on that kid, we were asking, okay, on the film, is there anything intriguing about this kid? If that answer was yes, then we were going to add him to our hot list, which is a short list of guys that you probably see coaches walking around camps with. It's going to have a list of guys. These guys may be in a different colored jersey or a single-digit jersey number, but each school has their own way to track these guys throughout the camp and make sure that they might have a camera crew following them. They're keeping close tabs on these guys at all times at the camp. If you show up as a walk-up and you don't look like you're going to be one of the first guys off the bus, then you risk just being thrown in a random pool of guys and not being seen or evaluated by that coaching staff. Not to say if you don't go and run a fast time or show something in the camp, that's not going to get you boosted up the board, but it's definitely going to make it a lot harder because you're not going to be on that hot list probably, and you're going to be working with the younger coaches, the graduate assistants or quality control coaches, and not with that main position coach. Get pre-registered. It could be your first opportunity to get recruited. So if not mega camps, then what types of camps should we be attending? You need to attend camps at the school's campus where all the assistant coaches and head coach and recruiting staff are going to be present. No random third-party camps. And here's the reality. College coaches are the only ones with the authority to offer you a scholarship. So if you want to be recruited by that school, you got to go to their camp. Now let's talk about cost, because you can usually sniff out the legitimacy of a camp by looking at the cost. And if you pre-register, you're probably going to get a cheaper rate as opposed to walking up, and we already talked about the benefits of pre-registration. But the camp should cost you no more than $50 to $100 tops. I would say that's pretty standard, and if you see anything over $100, it might be one of those mega camps if you're attending one of those, because they do cost a little bit more. But if it's anything, $200, $300, $400, $500 even, major red flag goes up for me, and that's definitely something that I would be very hesitant to attend. I'm not saying every single one is bad. There may be one out there that I've never heard of that's a phenomenal camp, but I would say for the most part, there are going to be money grabs where they're not going to have college coaches in attendance that can offer you a scholarship, and you're going to be paying for really nothing. There's tons and tons of events out there. I'm sure your email inbox is getting hammered with camp invites from other organizations that aren't associated with college teams. And they might look like great opportunities to you. They may do a great job of marketing, but they're not going to move the needle, and they're not going to help you get recruited. Simple as that. Every camp you go to, you're either moving up the board, onto a board, or off the board. Camps in today's climate of college football are ultra competitive. And if you're serious about playing college football, you got to have a plan, especially when it comes to the camps. If you're going into your junior or senior year this summer, you can't afford to guess, and you need a real strategy. If you want to be evaluated and know where you fit, what schools you should be targeting, and how to do camps the right way, comment the word evaluation below, or DM me your film on Twitter or X, and I'd be more than happy to take a look and tell you what I think. I'll break down your film, share your strengths, areas I see for improvement, and tell you where I think you fit in college football so you can start gaining traction and trending up. Because at the end of the day, a college coach can't recruit who he doesn't know exists. If this video provided some value for you in any way, or you think it may help somebody you know that's going through the recruiting process, please like it, share it, comment on it, and look forward to chatting with you guys again soon.